Hi, Alan here, and welcome to Dworshak Park. I've had a lot of time in the last few weeks since the ski season ended to do some reading, and one of the books I've been reading is called America the Beautiful by Dr. Ben Carson. You're going to hear me talking about this gentleman quite a bit in the coming days and weeks. There's a lot that I got out of this book. Frankly, there is currently a draft Ben Carson for president move, and if this guy runs for president, well, I'm sure that I'm not going to agree with him on everything that he has as a platform, but he's got my vote. He's sharp, he's independent, and he's very, very morally based and morally sound. So I'm moved to give you these thoughts today based on what I read in here, and I'm going to read a little bit to you from here, if that's okay, and then share some thoughts. Today happens to be the day after the Republicans stole the vote in Mississippi in the most unethical way possible from Chris McDaniels, and that's a whole nother can of worms that I'm not going to go into. But if you don't know what I'm referring to there, you need to research it, because you need to know who these people are and what they're willing to do just to retain power and just to be in charge. So anyway, quoting from Dr. Carson's book, and this passage I'm about to share is based in the Bible. It's based in Matthew 25 verses 14 to 30. And in Luke 19, verses 12 to 28. So Dr. Carson goes on to say, in the parable of the talents, in fact, industry and concerted effort are praised while laziness is rejected. He's talking about people taking responsibility and using their talents, making use of their own efforts. For those who are not familiar with this story, a master had 3 servants, and he was departing for a long journey. He gave them each a certain number of talents. The first servant was given 5 bags of money, again paraphrased from the Bible, which through his efforts he managed to double. That's an important message. The second servant was given 2 bags of money, which he managed to double, while the third was given only 1 bag of money, which he buried in the ground, hoping to conserve it. When the master returned, he was very pleased with the efforts of the first and second servants, and concluded that they were worthy of even more rewards. Through their stewardship, they had managed to produce even more than he had originally given them. When the third servant was asked what had become of the talent he was given, he said to the master, "I know you're a harsh taskmaster, therefore I buried the talent, the money, to ensure that nothing happened to it, so that I would not diminish your gift." The master was extremely angry with the servant and commanded that his talent be given to the one who had multiplied the talents the most. Now Carson continues, this parable is remarkable in that it shows God encourages the same kind of traits, think about this, that lead to entrepreneurship and business success. Now jumping down and concluding what's here, I just opened my eyes, looked around, and asked myself, what do people need? Then I went about fulfilling those needs. He's referring to a particularly successful entrepreneur that he met and interviewed. So what I take from this is that we all have talents. We all have resources, money if you will. Now if you simply take that money and bury it, well, frankly, the way we're treating money these days, it becomes worth less and less. I mean, think about what $1 was worth in 1971, and think about what $1 is worth today. If you simply had buried that money in the backyard, it's not going to go very far, okay? On the other hand, if you take that money and make it work for you, and of course many people think that that means throwing it in the stock market, which for most people is little more than gambling. Let's be real. When it comes to what do I invest my money in, I would invest my money in me before I'd invest my money in something outside of me first. Why? Because I know what my own talents are. And in many of my videos, you may have seen some of my recent videos where I'm promoting a company heavily called Send Out Cards. Now, I'm not going to get into that right here, right now. You can reach out to me separately if that's of interest to you. But I go back to that last sentence that I read to you. You find something that's in need, and you deliver that need. Well, Send Out Cards, I believe, has found a need. I didn't invent it. I didn't develop it, but I'm smart enough to see that it's there and say that, well, I might as well be a part of distributing it. That's my piece. That's my piece. That's what I do. If you want to talk to me about this or anything else, my number is 561-676-1205. I'm out here in Idaho, so I'm in the Pacific time zone. I'm in northern Idaho. 561-676-1205. Don't be fooled by the Florida Exchange. It's a cell phone. You can go anywhere with them. So I'll say this. There's a lot of wisdom that came out of this book. What I read to you was just about 1/2 of one page of well over 200 pages of wisdom that Ben Carson has to share. I'll leave you with one last thought, again from his book. This is a guy, by the way, that grew up in the inner city. He grew up with no advantages. He grew up in the ghetto. And he's a little older than me, so he grew up in the 1960s in the ghetto. He was right there at the time where all this flash stuff was going on, the flashpoint of Martin Luther King and the race riots and everything else happening in the 1960s. And this guy ended up on top. He's a neurosurgeon. He's a retired neurosurgeon now. And that's why there's a draft him for president move. Well, he shared an interesting vignette. He was developing, as a young child, an attitude, like a lot of kids do in the ghetto, of I don't want to work, I don't want to do anything, I can't do anything, so I'll just be angry all the time. Well, his mother saw that starting to happen. When I say young kid, he was in 5th grade. We're talking 10 years old. And his mother, who had a 3rd grade education and worked 2 jobs just to keep him and his brother with a roof over their head and with a little bit of food on the table, had only a 3rd grade education, couldn't even read. She said to her 2 sons, while she was working, you will read 1 book a week, each. And you will write a book report on it, which she didn't know how to read. They didn't know that. But she held them accountable to make sure that they wrote a book report a week. And that not only kept them off the streets, but gave each of them a lifelong love of learning. And as I read through his book, one of the other things that came out, it was his reading ability and reading comprehension that really carried him through med school. Think about how powerful that must be. Anyway, Alan Sills, Dworshak State Park, beautiful spot. Would love to speak with you. Feel free to give me a call. If you're interested in the business that I do, by all means reach out to me. Thank you. You take care.